Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us again today. I just want to start off by speaking to the mom out there that is in a tough conversation with your preteen. I see you. I see you feeling the hurt and the disappointment and the blame. I see you trying to manage the toddler tantrum, feeling the pressure to make it stop. I see you crying in the bathroom with a locked door, feeling shame for the way that you spoke to your kid. I see you fighting the rage that you feel when your kid comes in and wakes you up again in the middle of the night. I see you, we see you, and we're so glad that you're here. And today we are going to talk about present-centered parenting. And Katie's going to share with us the 5 keys to that type of parenting. Number 1, Katie, tell us about moms and dads managing themselves. It's the first key. Self-control.
Yeah, it's a good one. We get to the first point always, I'm like, oh, that's all of it. So this is like, you can't expect to foster something in your kids that you don't have. So I wanted my kids to be respectful and to be responsible and chill. But I was not respectful or responsible or chill. I was sleeping in and I was letting my anger get the best of me. And I was making long speeches and I was blaming people for how I felt. And I was having emotions that I didn't understand and really drowning in them and really like drowning and trying to keep my emotions away from me. So I didn't have any self-control. I was not in charge of me. And so the first step to present-centered parenting, what we're calling it now, is to recognize what's going on with me and to make decisions about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do that have nothing to do with anybody else. So self-control actually takes controlling behavior out of it completely. You can't be controlling and be self-controlled at the same time. Those, we're talking about those as opposites. This is like, I like to think of motivation as a motor. Motivation has the root word as the word motor. And self-control means I'm managing my motor. But I think so often as a parent before, I was trying to motivate somebody, manage their motor, but God only gave me the ability to motor me. So this is like letting go of what everybody else is going to do and recognizing the power of doing what I intend to do. Making a decision, having an intention, and then following through on that this is absolutely the first key because that's what God does. So what we're doing, like present-centered parenting, is not a new set of tricks to get kids to listen. It is embodying the truth of Christ in your family, because God can't help but be present where his truth is embodied. So this is like me being present and him being present, calling my kids to be present. It's so rad. And that means that I control myself because God does. So he knows what he's going to do and he follows through. He's not blaming anybody or doing other people's stuff. He's doing him, right? Point number 1. This is good. It's juicy. We could just like full stop right there. If you go master that, so many issues are going to come out of your family.
All right, number 2, personal responsibility.
Oh, it's a good one. I'm like, hey, these are good points. Personal responsibility. This means that the situation I find myself in is because of decisions I made and words I said. So it's similar to number 1 in that it's no one else's fault. This removes blame. These are all really about taking blame out of your family. We're ending the blame cycle. When I recognized I had the family dynamics I had because of what I was putting into them, I wanted other people to listen, but I wasn't putting in listening. I wanted other people to clean up after themselves, but I wasn't cleaning up after myself. I wanted other people to be transparent and honest, but I wasn't being transparent and honest with myself, let alone them. So the personal responsibility part of what it means to be a present-centered parent is that I'm getting what I put in. And everything that I see coming, every behavior of my kids, every response of my spouse it's data to me about what I'm putting into the system. And it doesn't change overnight when you start taking radical personal responsibility. It doesn't change overnight, but it does eventually change because people want the truth. The Bible says that eternity is set in the hearts of man. So when they see you living in this kind of truth, that you will magnetically draw them to a new place. So super rad. And you can't take radical personal responsibility without fully receiving the mercy and forgiveness of Jesus. This is none of these points are possible without his redemption on the cross, because what we're not talking about is my kid misbehaved and that's my fault. Or I'm misbehaving, so I get to blame you because you should be taking responsibility. There is no blame. There is no fault. There is no good person and bad person or right or wrong after the cross. There is only, I was dead and now I'm alive. And since I'm alive, I want to do a new thing that gets me a new result. That's what we're talking about, personal responsibility. So exciting. Okay, carry on. We're ripping through.
All right, number 3, talk to me about boundaries.
Okay, I want to hear you talk to me about boundaries because I'm just so curious what's in your head. But boundaries are simply the outline, the definition of who I am. So, like, my skin is a boundary. It's the difference between what's mine and what's not mine. So, my feelings, my beliefs, my thoughts, my words, and what I do with my body are mine. And a boundary is an agreement that I make with me about how I'm going to manage those things. A boundary is not a limit I put on anybody else. It's a decision and a follow through with a decision of what I'm going to do with me. So, for example, I don't sit in a room for people to yell at me. It's one of my boundaries because it's my job to steward the value that God gave me. I protect it by not staying in the room if somebody's yelling at me or cussing at me. It's not something I do. I don't need anybody else to stop cussing or yelling. I'm just not part of it. So boundaries protect my value. They protect my priorities. For example, I get on YouTube every day and I go live. So I don't need to make my kids go with that program. I just execute the thing. I go live every day. If they were in here right now, I'd have to deal with it. They would probably have outcomes for how they treated me during that time, but a boundary is what I do with me. Talk to me about boundaries. Like, what are the stakes of living in a boundaryless life? What does that feel like? Let's talk about this first. This is super important. Putting you on the spot big time.
Like a wave being tossed about constantly.
Yes. Yeah, it's like putting your hope. It's almost like I see like 2 baskets. Like, I used to manage what was in other people's basket. Like, hey, please feel something different. Please say something different. Please do something different. But the reality is, like, all of that is in my basket. Or I only get to manage how I feel, what I think, and what I'm going to say. And so not having boundaries is like a roller coaster because you expect something from other people to fulfill you that will never work. But the fulfillment is in knowing who I am and knowing what I'm here to do. And when I know who I am and what I'm here to do, everything becomes really clear. I'm hitting the gas and going forward. Catch me if you can. Join me in being significant and having value. That's what it feels like to have boundaries. We get home from an outing and my kids have a conversation about who's going to unload the back of the car and who's going to take care of the kitchen. They have a team chat about it because I have value around them. I'm not the used up mom who just goes outside of what's mine to care about what is someone else's. I know that I need sanity. I have limits in my thinking and words. So I live like that. That's what boundaries are. The other people watch what happens when I manage my value, my resources, my energy, and they want in on it. And so it's this extremely important part of leadership and just being mentally healthy at all is knowing where you start and end, what is yours to manage and what is not. That's what boundaries are about. So big.
Hearing you say it's being clear, that word stuck out to me because I remember having a life with no boundaries, felt very foggy. confusing. I felt just used up, but not clear on where I was supposed to, you know, um, get me back. Like just always pouring out into everyone else and feeling like, okay, I recognize, I feel in my physical body that there are limits to me, but I don't know how to tell myself where the line is that I don't cross. I don't know where the line is. So yeah,
Yes.
clarity is
Oh, this
huge.
is great. Let's dive in on that for a second, because do you think it was because there are practical means of taking care of ourselves? Like I try to take a hot bath every night. It's just a good like reset for me after the kids go to bed. It's a very good way of being like, don't come in my room. I'm in the bath. Like my kids aren't gonna just barge through the door. It creates a natural boundary for my quiet time. I get warm before bed, helps me calm down and settle my mind. So some nighttime results for my kids came from me just taking care of me. And so before I realized that I'm worth a bath at night, protecting my value, boundaries, nighttime was a little bit fuzzy. I could just do the dance with them where they pop out of bed over and over and we're just negotiating about it. And I don't know where the rule should be, but oh, I'm going to take care of me means I need that quiet time before bed. I'm going to do it in the bath. Now it's a very natural line. I'm not dressed in here. What are you doing? It's just natural. So, like, me just taking care of me created natural rules for my family that they follow because there's clearer outcomes, but it didn't come from me thinking where should the rule be and putting the rule in the right place about when they stay in bed or how I get them to stay in bed. It came from taking care of me. So it became relational, present centered. It's about us being present here together with reality. So for you, it was foggy. Was that because you were sure that you just needed to be poured out for everybody as a mom? Or was it because you didn't feel your feelings or like you weren't aware of yourself? Or like what was the fog coming from now
Oh
knowing what
man,
you know?
all of it. I definitely didn't feel my feelings or wasn't aware of myself. And I definitely thought that I had to pour it all out for them. Things were so unclear. I mean, hearing you say right now, like I take a bath every night. I think back then I would have been confused. Like, is it okay that I take a bath every night? I don't think that's something that I can just do every night and tell everyone in my house that that's what I'm doing. What are they going to do? Like what are they going to do without me?
Yes. Yes. So good. So
But
it's like
hearing
a,
you, yeah, go ahead.
so you had a value shift. You're like, oh, I get to take care of myself. I'm going to take
Yeah.
care of myself. And like they're going to deal. So one of the things that's unique, I think, about my family as a parent is I'm easily overstimulated. My brain lives in like 8-lane highway all day. I create things, I write things, I talk to people, I listen to courses. I'm always learning something new. I homeschool my kids. There is a lot going on in my head. And so in the in-between moments, like making lunch or getting in the car, I need it to be quiet. I need to not have them telling me or asking me things. So I just live like I need that. I didn't make a rule about like when you talk to mom and when you don't, or like it's not about rules. It's about us being present together with reality. And the reality is, I can't hear that right now. I'm at my limit. But for years, I would go way past that limit and just listen to everybody all day, thinking that's what a good mom does, live by a standard or a rule that a good mom listens to their kids at every request all day long. And then I would be like, I don't know if you know about this agitated, overstimulated rage. I think you do. I'm not sure if our listeners probably know. Like, I'm going to kill somebody if I hear the word mom one more time. And it's not explainable besides I thought I just had a short temper or I was just not cut out for being a parent or I was just a mean person. The reality is I have a limit on how much information I can process kindly. And so I let my kids deal with that limit. I say to them when we're getting in the car, I'm like, I'm in a transition right now. And they know that means ain't no way I can hear your question. It's not going to do anything. I'll even say to them, like, please stop talking to me. I need a minute. Like, so it was just like for me, like becoming aware that it's okay that I have these needs and then understanding what they are and then managing them. I don't need to manage anybody else. They run into me managing me. So great. Okay, let's go forward. I think we got it on boundaries.
All
I
right,
mean,
number four
boundaries is like
is,
what, a year-long journey
oh,
in our program. We learn boundaries for a year. And then it's like layers and layers of work. So we encapsulated boundaries in 5 minutes. That was good.
good job.
We all know there's more there for us. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right, number four is curiosity.
Oh, I love this one. I think it was in 2024. I asked God for a word every year, one word for the year. And he told me in 2024, my word was curiosity. So I did a deep dive on this with God. And here's what I found out: love is curious. Like, I used to think that since God knows everything about me, he couldn't be curious about me. He already knows. He knows every hair on my head. He knows every thought that comes across the screen of my brain. He knows my motivations. He knows where I'm going, where I've been. How could he be curious? But in relationship, he sets aside what he knows and he waits for us to reveal ourselves to him, and he meets us there. And he is the same way. He doesn't, we can know knowledge so much about him, but he reveals himself by his spirit to us personally when we are curious, and not before that. And even said it to the disciples, were like, hey, why are you telling them stories that they don't understand? Like, why don't you just be explicit about what you're saying? And he said, I don't want them to know. It's not for them. And I believe that is because they were not curious. And then I started to think about how we make assumptions and opinions and judgments about people. And I love to study, because of my story and because of the work that I do, I love to study what the Bible calls the ministry of reconciliation. I believe Jesus is reconciliation. So this is from 2 Corinthians 5. The scripture says, we regard no one according to the flesh, which calculates to me, I do the math on this, and I'm like, that means I don't get to have an opinion about somebody and why they're doing what they're doing. That's over. I don't get to regard them according to their behavior. That's over. I only get to see them the way that God sees them. And the way that God sees them is that they are washed, their motives are clean, and they are a creation of his, set apart, a masterpiece made by God, set apart to go do good things. And I know, because we're made in the image of the creator, that those good things are creative things that inspire more creativity on earth. I am blown away by God's design of people. Everything you're going to go do and make is going to be a creative act that inspires others to be creative in their design, how he made them. So in parenting and in family, in marriage, what this means is I'm so curious about people. I pretend to know nothing. Until you tell me about you, I don't know about you. And so when my kids are melting down or they are really excited about something, any blip of anything on the radar, or they'd make a dumb choice, I make a discipline. I have made a discipline out of them. I'm going to clear what I think I know about them completely. They're not like me, and I don't have the corner on them. And I get into curious, like, hey, I saw that happen. Can you tell me more about that? I want to know. And when they're telling me about it, I'm still tempted. Are you also, Alyssa? They're like, well, I just felt like she did this thing and did it. And I'm like, oh, he's feeling so misunderstood, because that's what I would be feeling. And then I'm like, nope, that's what I would be feeling. I wonder what he's feeling. So it's a practice of constantly clearing my slate, the canvas I have about people, clearing that and letting them paint a picture for me about who they are. And really, just a general lens and a mindset that I don't know someone until they reveal themselves to me. And that's an act of their will. So I don't get to decide why my kid is angry, and I don't get to decide why they're melting down, but I could ask and I can learn about them. And I have found that more than anything that I do with my kids, that's probably why we have the relationships that we have. I'm trying to think. My son was telling me something about his school. Oh, what was he telling me about? Why he wants to go to in-person high school the other day. Oh no, I remember what it was. This is why he doesn't want to play all-stars baseball. And I kept thinking that I knew it's because he's anxious about being a fraud because he did really good at tryouts for Little League and then he struggled to perform in games. And so I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, he doesn't want to be a fraud. He doesn't want to try out and do good at tryouts. He told me that. I don't want to do good at tryouts and then not be. And then I was like, no, that's how I would say it. That's how I would think about it. He doesn't want to be a fraud. I'm like, do you feel like you would be faking? Do you feel like you would be a fraud? And then he was like, no. And I was like, oh, I wonder what it would be. Would you feel like it's just too high pressure? He was like, it is a lot of pressure. And then he tells me, I just don't want to let everybody down. That's not what it would be for me. That's what it is for him. And it took me like it's a posture that kids can feel, constantly clearing. Here's what it would be for me. Here's what it would be for me. And staying curious. Christ is curious. We need to be curious. It brings presence home. Crazy. I love that topic. Let's talk about that
This is
again
good.
someday. Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, okay, we need to talk about this again because I have other thoughts, but we got to keep going. Okay, number 5
Yeah.
is the last key to present-centered parenting is to be living in redemption. Going forward, no blame.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good. This is like I said earlier, like we can't do any of these with in a blame cycle, in a blame setup. We've been throwing around this idea in here about understanding who the villain is because there is no villain at your house. It might feel like it. I have been convinced at times there was an enemy at my house in my kids or in my spouse, and that was completely not true. The enemy is a spirit that wants you punished. The scripture says that perfect love casts out fear, and fear has to do with punishment. So there can be no punishment in following Christ because he's perfect love. And I think I used to think, Alyssa, tell me if you thought this, like Jesus can be perfect love, but we can't live in perfect love at home. Like he can do it. Like he's the only one where that love can come from, but we can't, like, I'm going to somehow flub that up all the time. Did you think that? Yeah. So this idea about living in redemption is when somebody makes a mistake, we're not looking for whose fault it is or how to have them experience pain so they never do that again. That's not part of Christ's leadership. What he does instead is he understands where we're coming from. He helps us see why we did what we did. He heals our hearts and then he calls us to make a new decision. Repentance is make a new decision. So his kindness leads us to repentance. And we can lead that way as well. Our kids make a dumb mistake. And instead of who did it and who's going to pay and where's the payment going to come from, we go, I wonder how they were feeling, what they were thinking, and where that thought was coming from. And let's visit what they believe about that. Accountability means an account for your ability. It doesn't mean ever punishment. So, I know that there are moms out there right now who are like, well, where's the accountability going to come from? If everyone's just free to like, hey, make a better decision, where is the pain going to happen that actually drives us to a new decision, which is we would just have to talk about your boundaries then. Your boundaries are probably not in a great place. If you're wondering, where's the discipline going to come from? Discipline comes naturally because bad choices have bad outcomes, but that doesn't mean punishment. So my kid who forgets his jacket for the 6th time to school and I don't bring it is going to be cold. And that is very sad. But I'm not going to bring it there and then be angry at him because I had to bring his dang jacket. That's what punishment is like. I traded my time and energy and resources and now he's going to pay. That's punishment. A bad outcome is a cold person. And I get to be a leader who goes, hey, it seems like it's been a super forgetful week, actually, and I want to help you. Like, what's going on in your head? And we talk about how to make a new decision, repentance, how to work on forgetfulness because it's not serving him. So, questions, anything final on that? Punishment-free family, how cool would that be?
I did have one thought when you were talking about how you used to think that Jesus was perfect love. We could get perfect love in him, but I couldn't bring that to my family. And I definitely thought that, but I think it's because I wasn't actually connected to that perfect love, like between me and him. I mean, I know that's what it was. And so I wasn't connected to him. I wasn't experiencing his perfect love. And then I was trying to produce it on my own in my family. I was like, why can't I just love them perfectly? And getting so mad at myself and getting mad at them because they weren't responding to my false, false attempt, a poor attempt at love. Um, and once I had a real experience with his perfect love for me, you don't have to try. It just flows. Like if you are connected to the source, it just flows. I automatically out of my heart have I mean perfect, not perfect, but his perfect love for them. I have compassion when I look at them despite any of their behaviors. All I have is love for them. As long as I'm connected to the one that it's coming from. It's actually so much simpler than I used to make it out to be.
Yes, that was so good. And that's a really good like wrap on the 5 points, because the reason we're calling it presence-centered parenting is not that we're Jesus, it's that he wants his presence in our house. And that comes through us being present with him. It's the word present. We should talk about this one day. Maybe one day next week, let's do just like a whole episode on presence-centered, what that word is, presence, what that phrase is, presence-centered family dynamics. When we're present with him, he's present with them. It's not our perfect love, it's his, but we get to be a conduit for it. And that starts with receiving it. Ain't no way I can treat my kids like they don't need to be punished if I'm treating me like I need to be punished. And I think that's really the whole, you encapsulated that very well. That's really the whole picture. Woo! So good. Are we going to talk about the challenge today, Melissa? Okay. So on May, y'all, we're going to do something. Somebody say do something. Okay. You've been listening
Do
maybe
something
for a while. Oh, good. She said it. Thank you for saying it. I didn't expect that. I was like, whoa. It's okay. I did say to say it. That's exactly what I told you to do. Okay. May 25 for 5 days in a row. We're going to do like a presence-centered parenting challenge. We're going to dive deep on each of those points. Like we're going to run some scenarios and examples of exactly what it looks like. And you can get some actual traction on this. I want you to plan to be present. Ha, see what I did there? Present. May 25 to May 29. That's a Monday to Friday. We're going to call it a 5-day challenge. To just do a little parenting sprint. Let's just go to blows with this thing. And there will be an opportunity for you starting next week. You'll have there will be a page you can sign up on. There will be an opportunity for you to like end the live stream and come into a Q&A room, and we'll do some coaching live with you. You can ask us your questions and like, hey, run a scenario through this principle or any principle that you want on any of those 5 days. Okay. So we will get you more information on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, but mark your calendars now. May 25 to May 29, presence-centered parenting. Get your hubby involved. Be like, yo, I found some chicks. They're talking about how God can flood our family through the way we parent. It's true. God can do that. I hope that you've seen some of the, if you will go look at One Mom's Story in our live stream catalog here, or like a CJ Walters interview. Have we done any other? I think we've had one brave mom on here. It's just Sarah. Oh, Alyssa's story is in here. If you want to see the fruit of what we're talking about, there are some stories you can go look at in the live. So if this is helpful to you, please subscribe, send this video to a friend. This was a really good one to send to a friend. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of someone who needs this. She's drowning in her kids. She yells at them and she hates it. She can't talk to her husband somehow about parenting. They fight about it. This episode right here would be a really good one to send to a friend. And mark your calendars. Is there anything else? There is a membership link below. There are 13 spots left in May. It is a coaching call every week, y'all, and a 12-step curriculum. You could overhaul the dynamics in your family in 2 to 3 months in that membership. It's crazy what that offer is. People are doing it in there. We have 3 women in there right now who, without coming into the intensive, come back with a win every week. Like, hey, I ran into this conversation with my husband that usually is a huge fight. And instead, we heard and understood each other and woke up snuggling this morning. These are the results people are getting in the membership. Like, hey, my picky son who won't eat a vegetable ever is now eating his vegetables first and then politely asking me for the rest of his food instead of demanding it in an ungrateful way. This is a story from the membership. Okay. It's simple, little modules to listen to one at a time, a coaching call every week so you can practice in real time and you can have this. Guys, God can move in your family. So don't spend another day in blame. Don't spend another day resentful and guilty and angry. God has called you not just to be the one who disciples your kids, but he wants to give you delight in them. True delight. Looking in my kids' eyes is my vacation. Alyssa and I talk about this. Don't miss these years with your kids. I believe Jesus strategically gave us children for a moment because it is painful to miss it. You don't have to miss it anymore. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. All right. Jump in the membership. See you